Storytime with Herbal Roots zine. I'm Kristine Brown, and today I'm going to read to you the story from issue number 49, Honorable Onion. Do you like onions? You've probably eaten an onion, even if you don't particularly like the flavor. Onions come in all different colors, from red and yellow, and even white, or another type of onion called a scallion that has long green tops on it. Onions are added to many foods as a base flavor, or they can stand alone in a dish such as fried onion rings. But did you know that onion is also a medicinal plant? Onion juice can be put in an ear to help relieve an earache. A slice of onion can be put on a wound or a cut, and it will help to draw out infection. It'll cleanse the wound, and it will also help it to heal. And onions can also be sliced up and cooked up in some grease and flour in a pan, and then placed on a soft cloth on the chest to help with the mucus that's built up in lungs that causes a lot of coughing. Today's story, Nars Discovers Onion's Power, is all about how onions' powers were discovered as a plaster. Back in the middle pre-dynastic time in Egypt, the people of Egypt used herbs such as coriander and cumin, willow and sycamore, acacia, aloe, and frankincense. The Egyptians also used honey, grease, and fresh meat to treat wounds as well. The Egyptian healers carefully learned the uses for the plants for healing and kept track of them through their hieroglyphs on papyrus fibers. During the cooler weather of autumn and winter, many diseases ran rampant among the people. Relapsing fever, typhoid, malaria, smallpox, and other respiratory diseases often took the lives of many. One particular autumn, a serious respiratory illness broke out, filling the lungs with mucus and causing deep, burning coughs. Many succumbed to the illness, and some started to die from it. The Egyptian healers were concerned, as none of their normal herbal medicines were helping. As was the custom, the healers tried using one of their tried and true spells to go along with their medicinal healing. May you flow out, Qatar, son of Qatar, who breaks the bones, who destroys the skull, who hacks in the marrow, who causes the 7 openings in the head to ache. But even this did not help. The Egyptian healers grew more and more concerned and searched for new herbs to help heal their people. One night, after a long day of treating his patients, an Egyptian healer named Nar cooked himself a meal. It was made predominantly from onions, which he cooked over the fire in some grease. He added some flour to thicken his onion stew and scooped it into a bowl to eat. One of his patients began coughing uncontrollably, and he rushed to their side to check on them. As he got to the side of the patient's bed, he tripped over a basket full of herbs and fell to the floor, hitting his head on the bed as he fell. The bowl of onion stew, it landed on the top of the coughing patient, dumping the onions on his chest. Nar fell unconscious for a few minutes. When he woke up, he groggily rose to his knees, rubbing his head and trying to remember what happened. He recalled his patient's coughing fit and stood up to look at the patient, who was now sleeping comfortably. He walked over to the patient and noticed the pile of onions on his chest. Puzzled, he started to clean the mess up. As he removed the onion from his chest, the patient started to wheeze again. Curious, Nar returned the onions to his patient's chest, who began breathing easily again. Nar hurried back to his cooking area and began slicing up more onions. He didn't rest until he made enough to use for all his patients who were coughing from the illness. Nar began going to all his patients' homes, placing the onion stew on their chests. Their family members thought Nar had lost his mind until they realized the onion stew was working. The families continued the treatment on their ill family members as Nar went through the village treating all the sick. When he had treated all his patients, he visited the other healers and told them what he had discovered. The healers immediately started using their onions to treat their own patients, and soon the entire village finally had relief from their respiratory illness. The people began getting well, and from that day on, the Egyptians revered the onion and used it for healing their coughs and colds. In time, they also discovered other uses for the onion and continued using it for all sorts of illnesses, including asthma, colds, and problems with the digestive system. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you would like to learn more about onion, you can find the onion ebook in my shop. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for visiting Herbal Roots Zine for Storytime, and I'll see you next time.